Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It just released on PC today, so we'll get a good look at what that looks like using the ROG Ally X, and then also I'm going to use it with the OneXGPU 2. So we'll use the internal display first with just the ROG Ally X, and then after that we will flip it over to the OneXGPU with the internal display, and then I'll flip it over to an external display, and we'll see what kind of performance we can get out of that. So let's go into the settings first on what we're going to do with the Ally X only. Alright, so for the game settings, we're using full screen borderless and 1080p, 120 FPS, VRR, and the graphics are set to low, so you can just set it right in there, and then everything will set accordingly down below. For Armory Crate, it's at 30 watts. And then I have the real-time square monitor. That's the one we saw in the little corner here that I'll move up, and that's going to give us all our stats. CPU boost is turned off. So you'll see the FPS at the top corner of here, and that will also show you the temperatures. And you can see that this is a GPU-bound game. So for my VRAM, I actually have it set to 10 gigs on here. And so far, the performance that I've seen on the Ally has been really good. It's smooth, definitely playable on the 1080p low. You can see, like, it looks good. I did test this out on my OneXPlayer X1 Intel with the 155H. And it was running a little janky. Probably have to wait till there's some driver updates before I can play with that a little bit more. But it was kind of going up to 44 FPS and then dropping down, stuttering at around the 20 FPS.
Well, that's that.
And I do have like 10 hours in on the PS5 version of this. So I am going to replay it on the PC because I prefer to play it on the handheld like this. I was playing it on the Portal. And that one you get 1080p 60 FPS, but the stability on the connection from the remote play on the Portal, that's a little iffy. I've definitely had it where I'm in the middle of a boss fight or something, and now all of a sudden I'm disconnecting and I'm racing back to the PS5 and trying to turn on the display to stop it or pause the game.
Yeah, but if we keep using Mako to power our homes, springs like this will disappear, right?
What are you talking about? Who told you that?
My dad. And the mayor, if you must know.
It looks really good on the
Something
LIX.
that's huge. Mako will never run out, right?
Okay, I'm gonna skip it, but only because I've already seen this. And what you really want to see is the FPS when we're moving around, right?
We'll be fine.
Oh my gosh, we are in the wall.
Stand back. You're done. Brace yourself. Get him. Piece of cake.
Sometimes you just get turned around in these games. Where was I going? This way, right? Yeah, that's the way. Alright, so you can see, again, we're getting about 52 FPS on average. So let me go ahead and save it here, and then I'll flip it over to the OneXGPU on here. Alright, the OneXGPU 2 is now plugged in. That has the 7800M card in it from AMD, and that is equivalent to an NVIDIA 4070 mobile card. So we can now crank up the settings and see what happens. So 1080p still, because the display on this is 1080p, and then 120 hertz. In Armory Crate now, we're going to have to change it to 17 watts performance because we don't need that extra power for the GPU because the GPU is not coming from here, it's coming from there. So we only want to limit enough power for the CPU so we don't overheat this device. So we'll move that over to 17 watts. And then I'll change the graphics settings to high. And let's see what that looks like for FPS. Again, we're on 1080p. We've got the little monitor there. And you got that Thunderbolt 4 connection with the Ally X. Ooh, this looks good. I mean, it's a little stuttery off the bat here. That's okay, it's just warming up. Look at the difference in that smoothness. Like the FPS, we're sitting at 99 FPS. So we're almost... So I jumped to 112, so... It's looking pretty good. I mean, this is beautiful on this display. The power of the eGPU. Alright, so before on low settings, we were getting 52 FPS on average. I'd say we're over 100 now.
That one felt pretty good.
Not again.
Now we're talking. I won't let you down. Get him. Yes.
Alright. So we got a good idea of the FPS here. I'm gonna save it again. And then we'll flip over to an external display. Alright, so I'm back over on a monitor now, and I had to switch to windowed in order to change the resolution over to 1440p, but that's what it's on now. And you can see that the FPS is set to 120. And I'll just put it to VSync. Graphics quality, we're going to put it to low because we are on 1440p. And we'll see what that looks like for the FPS. Alright, now I do have Rivet Tuner at the top here through MSI Afterburner, so you can see the FPS info there. And then I also have the little bar up top, but this is going to be easier to see in the top corner. And I am using the Xbox Elite controller because it's a little bit trickier to use the Ally X as the controller when you're using an external monitor. Alright. So we are basically maxing at that 120 on here with low. So let's go a little bit higher. Let's crank it up to high. Let's see what that does. So 1440p high settings. This is way easier to play this way. Now I don't have a camera in my face. Alright. Which ladder do I want to go up? I think there is some materia here somewhere. take it up there? Yeah. There it is. Alright, let's... Perfect. Yeah, 1440p high, and we're basically maxing out on the FPS. This is great. There it is. How do I get to that? There we go. There's that last bit. Oh, I think there's something down here. Is there something? There we go. Treasure chest. That's what I want. Elixir. Okay. And there's something else down there. This looks so good. Alright, so there you have it. With the Ally X, we had about 52 FPS on 1080p low settings. With the OneXGPU and the Ally X, we could go all the way up to high and get over that 100 mark for FPS, around like 105, 110. Pretty much max out the internal display on the Ally X, and then if you go to an external display, you can really maximize it by having that 1440p, and then running it on high settings with the OneXGPU 2, and then we're still getting basically that maxed out 120 FPS, because that's as high as we can put it in the actual settings for this game. So there's no FPS higher than that. There's just the 120. So if I go here, you can see it just maxes at 120. So if we can maximize that 120 at 1440p and 120 hertz high settings, like, sweet. And we could probably even run this on 4K on low settings, medium settings, and still get really good performance. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care, and till the next one.